Warning. Warning. The following video contains mature content not suitable for children or the easily offended. Please keep this in mind when watching. Thank you and please enjoy.
Ghost of Tsushima is an action-adventure stealthy samurai sword 'em up developed by Suckerpunch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. You may know Suckerpunch from their other work such as Sly Cooper and the Infamous series. First being revealed in 2017 at Paris Games Week and having a gameplay demo shown at E3 2018, it was met with a collective, "Oh wow, another samurai game." But since its release, it has received very positive praise from both critics and players for its gorgeous visuals, amazing soundtrack, and viscerally satisfying combat. So, what the frick is so superb about Ghost of Tsushima?
We will face death and defend our home.
Our story begins in a battlefield where a group of samurai are trying to fend off a Mongol army. They send one warrior to fight with the Mongol's strongest fighter and...
Okay, but I wasn't the only one who found that a little funny.
Yeah, no, I laughed too and felt bad about it afterwards. Anyway, the big battle begins and it's epic with lots of death and cool swordplay, but then of course you get overwhelmed, your uncle gets captured, and then... you wake up to find your injuries tended to, but the Mongols are still around raiding the village you're in. You sneak into another building and find Yuna, the woman who rescued you, and she leads you to where your sword is. When more Mongols begin attacking, you sneak out of the village with Yuna, have a tutorial flashback, storm the place where your uncle is being held captive, get your impatient ass handed to, and then get thrown off a bridge. Eventually, Jin washes up on shore, and now your true journey begins as you need to recruit allies, liberate towns, and learn new techniques to rescue your uncle and drive out the Mongol menace. Now, the game is roughly 20 to 30 hours long, so expect some twists and turns along the way, but the core of the story is a tale of a samurai foregoing his beliefs and the internal struggle of doing whatever it takes to win a war. It's very much a story about characters just as much as it's a story about war and honor. It follows a similar structure to Akira Kurosawa's samurai epics.
Do we maybe need to explain who Kurosawa was to the audience?
Oh yeah, that might help. Akira Kurosawa was a Japanese film director and screenwriter. Over the course of 57 years, he directed 30 films from samurai flicks to drama pieces, and he deployed his very unique style of filmmaking to all of his productions. Some of his most well-known works include Drunken Angel, Seven Samurai, and Yojimbo, and he won countless awards for his films. He is regarded as one of the most influential filmmakers in cinema's history. In regards to the characters, they are all pretty well rounded. Jin is a great protagonist as we really get to see his personality shine through with his interactions with the side characters and seeing how important his relationship with others is to him. I love how they portray his struggle to adapt and change his ways in order to beat his enemies, and his light sense of humor keeps him from becoming too serious. Yuna is a great foil to Jin from the beginning. While they both have their reasons for fighting, their methods are quite different from each other, and Yuna is a great representation of those who know how the world really works and has to fight however she can to survive. While it can take a bit of time to really see these characters get fleshed out, it's worth it as all of them have some very interesting stories to tell. Khotan Khan is a great villain to our story. He's dangerous and manipulative, doing whatever it takes to reach his own ambitions. He definitely embodies a villain who is the protagonist of his own story. The island of Tsushima is well thought out and has a lot of lore and history that you can uncover just by exploring, but it's not so much that you get bogged down in all the details. Overall, the story is solid with nothing too outlandish and a great cast to complement this samurai epic.
Tsushima's gameplay is very combat and stealth focused, and it's probably one of my favorite combat systems in recent memory. So first off, let's talk about the general exploration and mission structure, you know, the boring stuff.
Hey, now it's not that boring.
No, you're right, actually, it's pretty good. The game is broken up into tales which you can travel to on the open world, and there are mainline tales and minor ones as well. Main ones will generally involve doing a task with one of your allies to help them and trying to convince them to help you. Minor ones can show up from hearing rumors or just stumbling across something on your travels. Main tales will progress the story, and it's advised to follow these at the start as it's how you unlock a lot of your new combat techniques and skills. Minor tales are shorter stories, but they are just as interesting and can involve searching for a legendary weapon or armor or fending off Mongols from a sake brewery. Traveling is made easy with your trusty steed, which you get to name at the start of the game. While there is a fast travel, I found myself just riding around everywhere because it was the best way to find random encounters and little side activities. My favorite addition is the use of wind to track your current quest. It's not intrusive, but helps directionally challenge players like myself not get lost. Now for the combat. You have light attacks, heavy attacks, a block/parry, and a dodge as standard. There isn't a lock-on, instead you hold in a direction to attack whoever is there, and this is done since you generally fight larger groups of enemies. Further into the game, you learn new stances, which you can switch on the fly, and these stances are useful against different types of enemies, opening up much more versatility to the combat. There are the duels, which are one-on-one fights that can test your skills and are tough challenges to overcome. You also gain access to ghost skills such as throwing kunai and smoke bombs, as well as bows and arrows for long-ranged combat. The combat flows super well, and combining everything together can feel amazing. At the start, fights can definitely feel messy as you're still trying to get used to the system, but eventually everything clicks, and next thing you know, you're pulling off amazing battles like this.
Did you just make this segment to show off your skills?
Yeah. Last point is the stealth, which I will say does work well, but sometimes feels a bit generic. You can hide, enemies have detection meters, long grass is your friend, and if you fail the stealth, get ready to fight. However, sometimes stealthing through an area is vital, as if there are hostages, the enemies may start killing them, and observing captains earns you points toward your next stance. It's the combination of all these aspects that makes the gameplay so outstanding and memorable. I never tire of fighting through waves of enemies or trying to clear a camp without anyone noticing.
Don't forget there's also the standoff mechanic, which really has that samurai feel of cutting down a foe in one slice.
There are a lot of side activities like the fox shrines, bamboo cutting, and the hot springs. These can provide some good distractions from the main gameplay loop and provide good benefits, but I never found myself actively seeking them out. The last point I'll touch on is the upgrade and gear system, as I find it to be pretty well done without being too overloaded. I know what I need for specific upgrades, and the game even gives you a little notification when upgrades are available. It's simple but very effective. The amazing gameplay is elevated by the beautiful visuals and sound design. The visuals are absolutely breathtaking. They walk the fine line of graphically impressive with a good artistic style. The tech is insanely impressive, and Suckerpunch definitely made sure that the game will age amazingly. The character designs are very well made, fitting in with the historical influence while still having unique choices to differentiate the cast. Lady Masuko has her full samurai armor, showing her beliefs and her status. Yuna wears much simpler clothes to conceal her skills. While While sometimes the character faces can feel a bit flat, the animations are super impressive. But can we go back to the environment for a second? Because I mean, honestly, just look how pretty this is.
The game's photo mode is very in-depth. I think the devs knew their game was pretty.
I also need to talk about the combat animations. Every slash and stab is easy to read from both Jin and the hordes of enemies, which is very much appreciated so combat doesn't just become a cluster of limbs and steel. The assassinations are visceral and brutal, befitting someone not accustomed to taking out someone quietly. There is the occasional time where enemies or NPCs can freak out and not know where they are or what they're doing or who they are. The cutscenes are amazing, with the black bars on screen giving it a more cinematic feel. Conversations can be a bit static, but I feel like it's asking a lot for every talk to have a unique cutscene. Of course, can't forget about the extra modes of the game, including Kurosawa mode that makes the game look and sound like an old samurai film. Speaking of sounds, the music is pretty freaking good, huh? The mix of orchestral and Japanese wind instruments make a soundtrack that can be epic with lots of heart-pumping action, as well as slower, more calm and reflecting tunes for a serene moment.
I want to give special mention to Lady Masiko's theme, as it's a very somber piece that reflects the character flawlessly.
Sound effects are magnificent, from the rushing winds and rustling trees to the clanging of steel and painful cries during an intense fight. The voice cast all do an excellent job with these characters. The standouts are definitely Daisuke Tsuji as Jin. He is perfect and brings a lot of charm to the character, and Sumali Montano as Yuna brings her many years of experience to the skilled thief. I do wish that when you switch to the Japanese dub, the lip flaps would match better, but that's such a minor nitpick it's not worth stressing over. I think I need to stress that Suckerpunch has brought their A game with this title.
When we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect.
Ghost of Tsushima is a superb game that shows you can have great graphical fidelity, style, and a serious story, while still remembering at the end of the day it's a video game, and providing entertainment to the player is one of the most important aspects of this medium. Sucker Punch have proven just how good they can be, and they've certainly gained a fan from me, and I can't wait to see what else they have in store. Ghost of Tsushima is available to play on PS4, and I highly recommend you check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget to follow the wind.